When I teach individuals or groups, I want to say this is attainable. If you don't have a lot of money, if you don't have a lot of time, we can still make it happen. I want everyone, I always call myself Basic Betty. We can make it happen. When I'm walking around my house in the morning, I've got my gua sha while I'm getting my coffee. At night, I have my Solar Wave red light. I'm brushing my
Yeah.
teeth. We have time for it. It's just taking that extra few minutes a day for self-care and be a little bit selfish. It's great. It's so good for you.
Hi, everybody. This is Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans on HSN and QVC, but now the proud host of Too Young to Be Old, my podcast, and Fashion Thursdays with Diane, my baby podcast. So if it's Thursday, it must be Fashion Thursday. And we have a fascinating guest today for modern aging makeup tips after 50 and beyond. Amanda Gabbard, she has worked with the best: Glamour, Vogue, New York Fashion Week, beauty host on Amazon Live, and recently just did the makeup of Kamala. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. Here I am at 79 years old, and I went on camera with no makeup. And I also want to say we never use filters. I am now getting letters saying, hey, that's not really you. Yeah, it's really me. Amanda came and did my makeup with a fall point of view, kind of dusty, rusty tones from scratch, from bottom up. And what we're discussing today, Amanda, is tips, really relevant, actionable tips for women over 50 who say, wait a second, this is tough. And I've got wrinkles now, and I've got age spots now. Help. So, how, for you as a professional artist who's done everybody, how does 40 plus differ from 50 and beyond in terms of your makeup philosophy and how you apply it?
Okay, that's a great question. And I'm so happy to be on at a great time with you on our tutorial. I can't wait. And also, when I started your tutorial, I love that you had a bare face and your skin is better than most 50-year-olds that I work on because you take care of it. And that was, so you made the makeup look even better because the skin, it's all about the skin. So I would say in the 40s and 50s, we're seeing the damage, right? We're seeing sunspots, broken capillaries and blood vessels, dark circles, and the creping. The jowls are starting a little bit, and the hooded eye underneath. So we're doing Botox, we're doing filler. That's great. And we can cut and inject and do all the things. But if we're not taking care of the skin, it's going to catch up with us. And something that is very, also, I think gets in the way is we still want to look like we're 30 because we're in denial a little bit. And then we're like, oh, that doesn't work anymore. The same outfits, hairstyles, skin, everything changes. So you need to be open to changing of the skincare and the makeup routine so you continue to look age appropriate and really fresh and pretty and natural.
And age appropriate to me is ageless. And I do want to say something. When I was younger, I was so used to hopping out of bed with only 3 hours of sleep. I was in Studio 54, then I was in the office by 8 a.m. And it didn't take anything, just a washcloth on my face, a little bit of foundation, and it was perfection. Now it's definitely heavy lifting. But what I have found is the world is round, not flat. And that is true for your own personal beauty world. I suggest after 50, as we start to lose the ability to ingest all vitamins from food and you start to see your hair thinning too, that you take appropriate supplements to empower your skin, empower your hair to grow. So I look at it from this point of view. Makeup, either you're putting it on to enhance, and that has to be good, healthy skin, or you're putting it on to hide, which leads to way too much makeup, caking, and generally, I've had makeup artists do my makeup, and I wind up looking 20 years older because I wasn't taking care of myself. So now I'm in a huge regime of supplements and red light and pink jade, which I refrigerator and then use for blood circulation in the morning, lifting and tightening pores before I put makeup on. And it's sort of like a game. I mean, you have to kind of make it a way of life, but it's not that intrusive on your time.
I like to make it when I teach individuals or groups. I want to say this is attainable. If you don't have a lot of money, if you don't have a lot of time, we can still make it happen. I want everyone, I always call myself Basic Betty. We can make it happen. Like when I'm walking around my house in the morning, I've got my gua sha while I'm getting my coffee. At night, I have my Solar Wave red light. I'm brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
We have time for it. It's just taking that extra few minutes a day for self-care. Be a little bit selfish. It's great. It's so good for you. And I love what you're saying, though. My message about makeup is not you are pretty when you have makeup on. Let's pile it up on your face, cover everything up, and wear a mask, and then you're beautiful. And my job seems like it's about vanity, but it's about confidence and it's about feeling good. So I'll teach you skincare and makeup. So if you have a dinner to go to or you like, oh, my skin looks a little dewy today, the shoulders go back and the clients walk out with a little pep in their step, looking like themselves. Because the worst is, oh, wow, Diane, you have a lot of makeup on today. And they're not saying, you look beautiful today. So, yeah, there's a fine line that I have to tread on in this business.
That I will say it again. I've said it often that for 30 years on television, I never paid attention because, first of all, I was usually reading what we were going to be doing for the next 2 hours on air, but I was also very aware that television makeup was not even close to everyday makeup, especially when you're in tele-retailing and you're not getting the top of the line cameras. And let's say an anchor, female anchor on CNN would have. And you'll notice also that those anchors on all the major networks usually are sitting at a table as light coming through the glass from underneath. No, that is not a decorative device. That is a giant glow lamp making them look refreshed.
As if y'all could walk around with that. It would look so pretty.
I love that. That's my dream come true. A little light. Hi, it's Diane Gilman. Guess what? If you are in the same bucket I'm in, which is women over 50, and you're thinking to yourself, how do I find out the best products to use? Maybe you've heard me talk about Purity Woods, and maybe you've asked me, I don't know, Diane, why do you love it? I'll tell you. Your skin is your passport to your visual to the world. If your skin is glowy, if your skin is healthy, you just generally look younger and are treated as a more vibrant personality. Why do I like Purity Woods? 100% organic. There is so much pollution in the air, so much pollution even if I go to wash my face with tap water. So many chemicals. I truly appreciate products that not only feel pure, but the scent of Purity Woods is just unbelievably refreshing. So, you know what? Give it a try. Get a discount using the code in the caption. Purity Woods. I love these products, and two of my very favorites from Purity Woods are the makeup remover, the exfoliator, which is just sort of like magic. So also, ladies, remember one more thing. As we age past 50, we do not turn over our skin cells as quickly as we did in our 20s, 30s, or 40s. You need not only a great makeup remover, but you need a great exfoliator to urge new skin cells to come to the fore. Purity Woods, they got it all. So, yes, for me, I stayed out of the sun most of my life, so I do not have those deep wrinkles, but I do have skin that's much drier than it was at 50 or 60. And I do have, and I call them parenthesis lines. And I found that using, what do you call this?
The gua sha.
Okay, the gua sha, that I now use it and lift up and hold and lift up and hold. Here's the beauty of this particular tutorial, ladies. You can do most of what you thought you could only get from a spa or a professional makeup artist, maybe for your daughter's wedding or your son's bar mitzvah or whatever. You can do it all in the privacy and the comfort of your home if you just kind of stay disciplined. So let me ask you something, Amanda. What is your diet, and what is your diet based on?
I try to get as much fish, salmon, greens, fruit. When they say, if you look at peppers, the red, the green, the orange, that's the kind of food you want to ingest. It's going to reflect. I love junk food as well, but I do 80-20. I won't deprive myself, but you know, the younger generation is addicted to water in the most beautiful way. We were not. I was like, I'm happy with coffee and Diet Coke all day long. And now
Yep.
they have these big jugs with them, so their skin looks amazing. So I try so hard to drink as much water as I can, to get sleep, to do, is it colostrum? No, is that right? That's a, am I saying colostrum? It's like our bone broth. I try to drink that. And I also I drink aloe vera every day, and it's horrible, but it's worth it. And I take like a little shot in the morning and before I go to bed, coats my organs, and it helps the skin. And I take all the supplements. So I'll do anything I can to prevent it. And what we put in our bodies, I was talking to a cardiologist recently, just gorgeous. He looks like a TV doctor. I was doing her makeup, and I said, tell me what we should be doing about our hearts and about red meat. And she said, you can exercise all you want. You can put everything on top you want. Whatever you swallow that goes into your system is what's going to reflect. So we've done a lot of damage by the time we're 50. And so to reverse, you actually can. The body responds very well if you just treat it well. So yeah, all the supplements and hydration.
So one thing I noticed as I got older, and part of it was I was so freckled as a kid, I had like a billion freckles, age spots. So all those freckles in just different areas, and thank you, on the front of my forehead particularly, but also on the back of my hands, came together. I had huge age spots, and I could not figure out what to do about it unless I wanted to be reclusive and stay indoors for the rest of my life. Red light. So just getting into the actionable. Red light absolutely changed my life in terms of my complexion, and not having to put on almost white foundation like polka dots and then go back and put on more foundation to hide those spots. Is that what you use red light for?
I'm bringing it up right now because I knew you'd ask me. And so it looks like a little Bic razor.
Yeah.
So I'm not shaving or dermaplaning, but I do this. I didn't think this was a real thing. I asked my friend who's a fabulous esthetician, Adrienne Banza, and she said, oh no, it actually works. So think 3 minutes, do all the things, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and then I do the sides of the neck. So
yeah,
yes, too. You don't want to do right on the apple. We're doing the sides and always bringing it up. So things like that, it seems like, okay, that's 3 minutes, 3 minutes. No, to walk around the house and do it, but put a nice little, either a vitamin C or a serum on because you want that slip. You don't want dry skin. And this is something, just like with exercise, if you're consistent, you will see a difference, a refresh, and a texture in your skin if you stop doing it. So I think red light therapy, I don't do the hockey mask. I think I'd scare my dogs and my husband and myself, but I do the little thing.
I want to do it because I have areas that I know I should work on more than other areas. I think using a glow mask is too passive and you're not going to learn about you. Now, I do the Adam's apple with my device, which just on. And one thing I notice is it's not an almost 80-year-old neck. It is, I'm showing it.
I saw it in person up close and I touched it and it was firm and wonderful.
And I will tell you that that comes from two things, because I'm not going to lie. I go to a dermatologist for three things. Number one, Botox, of course. If you are in front of a camera, you're the one that looks weird if you're not using Botox because everybody else is, male and female. Second thing is a little bit of filler. She says that you lose volume around your temples and again, a saggy jawline. So she gives me a little filler at the end of my jawline to bring it out and at my temples to give them some flesh. And that is very helpful. And the third thing is I get medical grade red light, two different kinds that are a little bit scary. And I started bracing myself for the feeling, which is nothing more than electrocution. I mean, that you are just being electrocuted, but it's over with pretty quickly. And that will last me 4 to 6 months. So that's another part of the basis. And red light also brings up blood circulation, very important, 50 plus. And you look refreshed and ready to have makeup applied. So don't beat yourself up if you want to go to a derm and get any of those treatments. I mean, honestly, Botox is like nothing today.
It's like going to the dentist now. It's totally normal. And there's a lot of shame behind that in the industry. And I see people's faces naked every day. So it's like trying on bathing suits. When I'm seeing someone without makeup, they say, oh, don't look at my under eye. Don't look at this. They're so insecure. My goal is to make them feel secure, but also don't worry about it. If you want to get some Botox here and there, you want to get a touch of filler, it's your face. You could do anything you want to make you feel confident. And also, if you do the basic skincare, and that will make a huge difference. So
also, you are in charge of you, which means don't go to a doctor and be passive. I always go to the doctor and say, I don't want to look like my face is cement. I've seen a lot of people that way, including politicians. And I wanted to look uber natural. I'm not trying to look younger. I'm just trying to look better in the moment. And one thing you said about bags under your eye, I use that pink jade device too, and go under eye and kind of go up and hold it, because that and the way your under eye contracts from the cold and the use of the jade or the quartz really helps with that. I also want to say that and I'm not knocking any product, but it did kind of freak me out. There's product on the market that is supposed to tighten up and take away those bags. And they show it on cable TV all the time. Like, it's only 6 minutes of your life and you're going to look 30 years younger. And what they don't tell you, I believe, it's almost like putting white egg on your eyes and it shrinks them up. But if you go out in the rain or you get half and half not, it comes off immediately.
I've done it. I Male and female makeup artists and male and female clients, who a lot of them are on TV, we all bought it like, this is going to be amazing. And then we started laughing. It was like gentle Elmer's glue that we had put. And then when you stop smiling, your eye is still up. And then they put it on top of the lid. And it was, I mean, maybe we used too much, but I also went back and I tried all different levels of coverage. And I don't know, maybe they still need to perfect it. I will buy it if they perfect it. But right now, you're right. It's like egg white. It's tight and plasticky. And then if you sweat or break it, it flakes off. It's horrible.
So no, I guess what we're trying to say here to our audience is there are no miracles. There are a lot of ways that will only take you 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes in the evening that are going to revolutionize the way your skin looks. And eating right is just part of that discipline. And that all diet, exercise comes together to make your skin, without anything on it, the optimum to be able to put on a reasonable very little amount of makeup and look great. So I want to talk about something you taught me, but you're the one that has the knowledge. So I was using a makeup base, and I used two of them. I used Tom Ford, but now I find it a little heavy now that I'm taking care of my skin from the inside out. And then I switched to Charlotte Tilbury, which was also good for camera shots. And then I bought another product, a color stick off, I don't know, the internet, Amazon, and I'm putting it on, and I use my fingers for everything, not the most professional, but no one said I was. And I couldn't blend it, or I thought it was blended, and then I would walk away from the mirror. When I came back, it was like, oh, there's a big pink spot there, and then there's sort of nothing there. And it almost looked like it was running down. It wasn't stabilized. Talk to us about a brand regime that is either on silicone or based on water.
This is so important, and I'm so glad you asked this. I think it's important. I'm an esthetician and I'm also a makeup artist, so it's important for us to know the science behind it. We can love all the brands we want, but how to explain it to our clients and understand as we are working. I noticed myself 2 years ago thinking, the bronzer is separating on that cheek, and I didn't understand. So I did a deep dive and put my scientist hat on. And so the ingredients of our primers, foundations, concealers are game changers. And if you Google it, you'll get more familiar with the language. So if I use a silicone primer, I need to use a silicone foundation and a silicone concealer. If I use water and then an oil-based and then a silicone-based, it's like cooking with the wrong ingredients. Oil and water, they're going to separate. So I want to play with all the same toys that play together well. And they look better together. So silicone on top of silicone on top of silicone is perfect. And then use all water-based products. So if you are, I usually say this is generic, a broad stroke. But if we have mature skin, fine lines, dry, dehydrated skin, I always go with silicone. It's got a beautiful slip. It's dewy. There's no matte finish. And I can move it around still. If we are acneic, have oily skin, I'm going to use a water-based product. Usually across the boards, silicone products have more coverage, but you can actually work with them. Do less. You're still going to get a nice coverage, but not too much. And water-based goes on a little bit lighter, but it's oftentimes will dry matte. So if you see the back of a bottle, almost here's like, I brought like my Armani out, right?
Okay.
The first ingredient will almost always be agua, water, because we need water in every ingredient to make it work and mix. That doesn't mean it's a water-based product. So if you look at the first 5 ingredients, and believe me, I was not good in math or science growing up, but when it comes to makeup, I'm good at this. So in the first 5 ingredients, if something ends with cone, C-O-N-E, or oxane, X-A-N-E, dimethicone. Those things are silicone, oxane And then if you don't see any of those words, it's basically a water-based product.
So when I was younger, I never thought about buying an entire regime of skincare or makeup. I thought, oh, I'll take that from there and I'll take that from there, and I want a cheaper version of that and that. But now, after you and I work together on a makeup tutorial, which will be out on YouTube for this podcast, I see how much, as a non-professional, how much easier and the superior application of putting agreeable products together. And that also is why I use a product line from England called Lima, because they started out with supplements for women over 50 and all the things you could never absorb into your body unless you're eating like 100 pounds of greens a day. After the supplements, which really gave me a sense that they were improving my life, energy wise, circulation under the skin wise, just everything made me feel a little bit better, like I was really doing something good for myself, because I, like you, am not a scientist. Then they came out with the red light. I thought, okay. I was one of the lucky ones. I was in the first group that got them because they sold out. That made huge difference for my age spots and clarity. Then they came out with a serum and a face cream, a lotion that you put on after the red light and therapy. And that is very augmenting to recreating cells faster. And then, of course, what do you put in your coffee in the morning?
Collagen peptides.
I don't even know what that does, but everybody raves about it. So, okay, I'll do it. And it's tasteless and it's easy. But see, and then I'm going to really put you on the spot and get you to do 5 tips for women over 50, specifically for women over 50 when it comes to skincare makeup. But the collagen, I noticed the other day, between all the products and the red light and the pink jade refrigerated that I use, wow, I'm not exaggerating. It's like a mini facelift. If you really keep it up and are disciplined, facelifts are dead as far as I'm concerned. And I don't need or want anybody cutting into me. I did it once at the age of 47, 32 years ago. That was enough for me. But you can, in your own home, come so close
Yes,
to.
and at that point, I just talked to my Botox doctor. We talk like we go down deep whenever we're together because I ask questions, and he said nowadays you do not have to cut, and there's not as much plastic surgery. If you're doing light little Botox injections and a little bit of filler, taking care of your skin, the big facelifts aren't a thing anymore. You can actually help prevent, and also by using the right skincare. So I will go. It's hard for me to wrap this. Okay, here's what I would say. If you're basic Betty, we're all going to the drugstore. We're going to get it on Amazon. You wake up in the morning. The gua sha I take first, but I'm sorry, I'm lying. I don't do that first. I wash my face with a washcloth, not with our fingers. If morning and night I'm going like this with cleanser, essentially I'm pushing it back into my skin.
Oh.
So just a washcloth. And in the morning, just take it all over. It's a light little exfoliation. If you had a little bit of sweat, perspiration during the night, washcloth, it can be with cleanser or not. Then I'm going to put on my vitamin C. It can be fancy. It can be not fancy. All over the neck, face, chest. Then I'm going to put on my serum. Right now I have a Yonka serum. I love this. Serum is the magic word. It's better than moisturizer. It's better than lotion.
It's richer.
Yeah. So think about moisturizer and lotion is great. It's thick, juicy icing on a cake, and it might seep down a little bit into it. It feels great. I love it. Serum goes like this. So imagine the prongs going into your skin, helping with elasticity, assisting hydration, going deep. So I use moisturizers of all different price ranges for 10 years. I thought I'm still dry as a reptile. So I do serum first, then I do my under eye cream under and top of the lid because it still gets crepey and discolored. Tapping under and over, maybe a vitamin C brightening eye cream. Then put your sunscreen on. Put your CeraVe. I also like Barbara Sturm. I like high end, low end. Those basic things.
I went to a tutorial for Barbara Sturm and she had 50 plus.
Oh my God, I have it here. Sun drops.
Yeah, it was
so, but then again, I also have CeraVe. So whatever price range you have. So those are the products we do. But before we go to sunscreen, I've got all those nice juices and oils on. I take my gua sha and I'm literally pulling up my skin that's bloated, it's puffy, it's full of water in the morning. I go all over getting my coffee. And then I'll take an ice cube, an old school ice cube. I'll wrap it in a paper towel and go around my eye. It will yes. It will restrict those blood vessels and tighten it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really works. And the other thing is, when I was younger, I was a jogger. And one thing I loved about jogging was getting blood circulation all the way through you. Well, yeah, being a jogger led to arthritis in one knee. Not a good idea. Can't jog anymore. But this little guy, which is totally thrifty, and you can definitely get on Amazon, just using that to take away puffiness and lift up a little. Let me tell you what, this is a little engine.
It is. This came with the jade roller, and I thought, what's this thing? I never used the jade roller. This kicks the jade roller's butt. It's amazing. We scoop it up, and then we go under here for lymphatic drainage, go around the neck. And then you can get into the shoulder, the meat of that. This is such a great, inexpensive tool, along with an ice roller from Amazon. Put that in the fridge, walk around, do it. These are such simple things. And then exfoliate 2 or 3 times a week in the shower. If either in the shower or right after you get out, if I'm giving you a facial, I'm going to steam your pores so I can get all that good stuff out. It can be a $3.99 tool from Amazon, or it can be a fancy brush. Doesn't matter. The thing women are not doing enough, I don't care what age they are, is exfoliating. If you do not exfoliate your skin, there is no cellular turnover, it's dry, and then the makeup doesn't look good. Any little bit you put on. Exfoliation is great, but don't over exfoliate. If you're using retinol every night, only use it a few times a week. Don't exfoliate on the night you use retinol. It's too much.
It is too much.
Yeah. And then obviously I do this either morning or night. Again, you can get it on Amazon. And then if we want to get really crazy, we do I do the little micro needling. This is not the stuff that punctures you, but this is great.
And you see, none of these are expensive devices, and all of them can be bought online from Sephora, from basically Amazon, and look over all the different levels of the product. But you don't need to go to a spa to spend a fortune. Have someone else do it for you, when in fact it is not only super fun to do yourself and feel you've accomplished something, but you can do it while you're watching TV and drinking coffee and on the phone.
This thing is so great. I would say always do this at night, not the day. So we're going to go up and down a few times, and then I have to go across like a checkerboard. I do neck and chest, everything neck and chest. And under the eye, over everything. Not on the eyelid, but like, around this area. Then that's when you put your lotions and potions and serums on, because then it's absorbing. You created this, it's almost like a micro injury, which sounds silly, but it's not, because it's not the invasive kind you would get at an intense dermatology appointment. It's just going to absorb and plump with hyaluronic acid and all of your serums, and you'll just look amazing and wake up looking more plump.
Now, the needling device, that's really easy to find. And I've seen people get professional needling, but the needle marks showed for like the next week or so, which I don't want a polka dot face. So you don't get polka dots from your needle?
Because that one that they have on Amazon is gentle for everyone's use. You can buy ones that I just heard yesterday in the makeup room that will puncture your skin. I don't want to do that at home ever. This is just a nice little, helping my texture and helping absorb my products. So let's steer away from anything blood or hole producing.
Yeah, or puncturing. No, thank you. So I do want to say that I will do some of the stuff that Amanda just recommended in reverse. Like I put serum on at night after I use my red light. But here is the point. You cut out having to get in a car and use gas. Cut out 3 hours of your life going to a spa waiting. And I'm sorry, but after COVID, I don't want anybody bending over me and breathing. Call me crazy. It's just my thing. But so all of this is attainable. Better skin leads to better makeup application. And, somebody was said to me the other day, "Oh, you remind me of your mother. My mother, you always doll yourself up before you go out." I'm not dolling myself up. Maybe I do come from a generation, the baby boomer, where we don't really feel that great about leaving the house unless we're semi put together. But I will say that the Gen Zs just below us definitely are not focused on being a glamour girl. They want fresh skin, realistic makeup, easy hair, and an everyday, every minute of your life kind of point of view.
Exactly. They're not going to do it if it's too complicated. And people say, "Oh, there's too much online right now, too many things to buy." Where the industry has actually made it easier to follow if you just pick a brand,
Yep.
look it up. What do I do for me? Okay. And then quiet all the other stuff. People telling you to do this and that. What works for you, keep it in a line, and you'll do your routine and keep it consistent, and you will see such a difference and not break the bank.
Yeah. Like you're going to a midnight party while you're dropping the grandkids off at school. So this was so much fun. I could talk makeup, skincare with you forever, but wait till you see the tutorial we did with me, barefaced, and getting a really buoyant, very likable pre-fall look from Amanda Gabbard, absolutely great makeup artist and really terrific about talking about it too. And this to me this is my meat and potatoes, bread and butter kind of discussion. How to be timeless and ageless and do it with strength of knowledge behind you. So Amanda, thank you so much. This was great and so informative.
Thank you for having me, and I'm so glad we met. I love doing your tutorial. Next time we'll do a skincare tutorial in person together.
Oh, I love that. Let's do it. Okay. Thank you all for listening and watching. It's been super fun.
Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.